What's up? What's up? Friday, July what? The
26th.
Emily Gagnon here, riding with Ellie Parker for a third straight day. We are gracing your airwaves. That's old school, isn't it? Airwaves.
Airwaves.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. And we've got some great topics for you. They're kind of similar to what we've been talking about all week.
Yeah.
But different in the sense that every day something different's happening. Falcons training camp continued today. Day 2 of training camp. They got it in again without getting rained on. Of course, the rain here in Georgia happening in the evening, in the afternoon. I think the rain's coming right now. I'm not sure. But for now, that's 2 days in a row where the Falcons did not have to deal with it during training camp, so that's great. Today we heard from last year's first rounder, Bijan Robinson, and he talked about the mood in Flowery Branch being very different this year from last year, in the sense that, Ellie, they're happy and they're laughing and there's a lot of smiles. And I think the team is going to go as the head coach goes, and Raheem Morris is a very cheerful, very energetic guy. So I think he probably wants to see that from his players. And quite frankly, there's nothing to be sad about right now. The season hasn't started.
Hasn't started.
Right now, you've won, okay? Right now, you're winning. Everything
You're
in camp
0-0.
looks great. There are no injuries so far. People are back.
Don't jinx it.
So, yeah, exactly. But then we also heard, who we're going to play for you right now, is Michael Penix Jr., the rookie QB, who, of course, is looking to make an impact whenever he gets his name called or number called.
Feels like home, though. I'm from Florida, so I'm kind of used to it. But, it was a good first day of actually going at it, and I can't wait for the rest. So.
Yeah, how'd it feel to go at it a little bit and throw the ball around?
It felt good. I felt comfortable. I felt confident, and just continue to make sure, we just keep stacking these days, because the season is right around the corner. So, just got to make sure that we're all ready for that.
I'm curious about the use of the GoPro on the helmet. How much do you like that view, and have you ever done it before? Like, what's kind of the lowdown on that?
Yeah, it's a nice view. I like it, but I don't like hearing my voice. I don't like hearing my voice whenever I'm talking and saying the plays, because I feel like my voice sounds different when I'm like in person versus on the recording. But other than that, man, I like the view. It's a cool thing. I'm glad we got it.
Has the speed of the 11-on-11 drills been hard to adjust to, or did you notice it?
Nah, man. I had OTAs and stuff. I had, training camp, like the rookie mini camp and stuff. So I'm good, man. Just making sure, just processing everything and just, like I said, take it day by day. So.
Could you discuss a couple of throws today? You had one to Rondale, a back shoulder one, and a deep one that, right? Looked pretty good. Just how do you feel your passing ones today?
Yeah, man, I feel like it was good, but there's a lot of things that I want to continue to improve on, and that's, as I continue to, learn the offense, continue to get better within the offense, and just bringing everybody along with me, just being that leader and carrying on that role as the quarterback, I feel like I got a lot of areas to get better in, and that's what I've been working on. But, today was a pretty good first day, that connection with Rondale, it's been good, since OTA, so.
Have they shared with you your plan for exhibition games and if you're going to play?
No, they have not. I don't know yet.
Would you like to get some live NFL action?
I love playing football.
There's been,
that's a yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's always talk about, lefty quarterbacks, the ball has been a little bit different for the guys that catch it. Do you have to work with the receivers at all, just a little bit more to kind of get them used to the way you throw it?
I haven't really noticed that. Obviously for me, it's nothing different for me, just throwing it to the open guy. But, for some of the guys, if they need, like, extra throws, extra catches and stuff like that, I make sure I get with them. But for the most part, we do routes on air and stuff like that, and everybody been catching the ball clean. So, I haven't seen anybody, like, struggling or anything. So I feel like, and we're all professionals, so they're going to make the play and I got to make the throw. So.
What's it like going against the ones with, Jesse Bates at the end there? Obviously, it's not full go, but, those are some pretty strong football minds on the other side.
Yeah, man, it's good. I was just telling Coach, man, I like that. I like to be able to go against the ones and he's talking about go Ducks. We whooped them 3 times. But yeah, like I said, it feels good, to be able to compete against the ones, it's only going to make me better, and make the second team better. So.
When he was the wide receivers coach, TJ Yates came up with some pretty creative drills. Have you had any creative drills from him so far in camp?
No, he don't really do anything crazy. You know, none that a lot of us haven't done before. So I wouldn't say it's any crazy drills.
We learned from Pitts that you go to bed pretty early, and you and Kirk are like the earliest.
Oh, yeah, he in my room, yeah.
What time is like bedtime for you?
I'll be going to sleep like 9:30. Yeah, I'll be out because I'll be up early, so I gotta make sure I get my rest. So 9:30. Nah, I ain't even get NCAA. Nah, I don't got it.
What time does your alarm clock go off in the morning?
Mine go off at 5:30. 5:30.
We've been talking about like must-have snacks. Kirk's a trail mix guy.
I got him some trail mix. He told you?
Yeah. You got it for him?
Yeah. He was like, I like trail mix. I was like, all right, I got you. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I don't really got like, I'm in the moment type of guy. Like whatever I'm feeling, either fruit or I just like to eat food. I don't really like the snack stuff. For real.
Does it feel a little like college though, being in the dorms again?
Yeah, kinda. But it's convenient. I wake up, I just walk over to work, so it's like it's easy. So.
Other than trail mix, have you gotten to talk with Kirk a lot and bond with him a little bit in the room?
Yeah, man. He's great, man. He's so smart. Just continue to learn from him and continue to just watch what he do day in and day out. How he carries himself and how he leads the offense. Just me make sure I'm taking that in. And just obviously as a leader myself, I like to learn as well. It's a continuing learning process, throughout this whole journey. So, I'm going to continue to learn.
Have you guys had like one-on-one time together?
We haven't, but we're in the quarterback room all the time. We spend most of the day in there, so I see him a lot. So.
Have you reviewed any of his GoPro footage, and were you interested in learning from like?
Yeah, for sure. So we only got it. Yesterday was the first day seeing that GoPro for me. And just listening how he called the plays, how he take control of the huddle and stuff like that. It's elite. So.
Have you had the GoPro before? Like, have you worked with it?
No, I haven't.
Mike, what's your process for taking notes?
For taking notes?
Yeah. How do you take it down?
Mine is I got iPad and I got a notebook, pen and paper. So I use both. Usually team meetings I use my iPad. For installing I got to use pen and paper. Just so nothing get lost or anything like that. And, I like seeing my own handwriting because on the iPad I can write my handwriting, but it adjusts to, yeah, so it's crazy the technology we got. But, yeah, man, I take a ton of notes. It's just anything I don't feel comfortable with or anything I'm trying to learn, even if I do know it, if I feel like, coach give us an adjustment or something to look out for within that play, I take it down. So.
Kirk has talked to some about his process, and he says he draws it out, and he doesn't feel like he's got it down until he can hear the play call and then sketch it, basically.
Yeah.
Do you do something similar?
Yeah, so when we install, I'm drawing every play, and then, walkthroughs are the things that, like, when we go to walkthroughs, that's like something that solidifies, like, okay, I'm good, because once I draw it out, I go over it, rep it, to myself, I know it, but then, like, sometimes you want to be able to see it,
Right.
see the line, like where the guys are lining up, and stuff like that, just so that you get that feel. And, for me, that's once we do that, I'll be ready. So.
Have you looked at Kirk's notes? Is that something that you try to learn the way he does it and pick up some things?
I peek over at his notebook sometimes.
Yeah.
He on the other side of the table, but yeah, he got like a grid notebook, a huge notebook. His note's crazy, but I peek over sometimes. I can't really see. He's right small, but I be trying to look.
How many pages will you fill in a typical meeting?
In a typical meeting, well, it just depends on the meeting that day, because like today we didn't really install anything because we installed it yesterday, and then today's meeting was just like going over the script. So, but then if we install,
like a big day.
Yeah, it'll probably be like 2 pages. It's nothing crazy because a lot of our stuff we install, like we already got everything down. Like if I go back to the notes we already had since OTAs and stuff, it's a ton. But like now it's just like, just repping it again. Just make sure that we're clean with it. So it's not as much notes unless I find something new within the play that I want to make sure I note down so that I can be alert for when we come out.
Alrighty, so there you had it. The quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., going through his first training camp as a rookie with the Falcons, the 8th overall pick, I think I remember correctly.
8th overall pick.
Obviously he's super eager. Can't wait to, prove what he's got. With that being said, he's still very conscientious that he has somebody in front of him. That's the reality of the situation. You've got a vet in front of you that knows how to do things in certain situations that perhaps you still need to learn how to do. That's easy to understand. Next. Take it away. We'll let you do it. Ra Thomas, wide receiver, in trouble.
Arrested and suspended now after being arrested for cruelty to children and battery. This is on a different level from the speeding charges and the reckless driving charges that have sort of, for better or worse, defined the Georgia football program off the field over the last 2 years or so. At a certain point, Kirby Smart's going to have to get this under control. Because this is different than dudes racing in Athens. Especially since Ra Thomas has already been arrested, was arrested 2 years ago, although those charges were dropped for false imprisonment. But yeah, this is just not a good look.
What I'll say is that players do continue to get in trouble for various reasons, being arrested for various reasons. More so with the speeding thing than anything else. The most recent being Ra not for speeding. And people, national media, it's getting all kinds of attention.
Negative attention.
It's the wrong attention, obviously, entering a season where you are returning your star quarterback, where you've got some decent players on both sides of the ball. You're being mentioned to possibly be able to win your third national championship in 4 years. You want your attention on that. You don't want your attention on these off-the-field issues that Kirby has to continually talk about, be asked about.
But at a certain point, he has to do something about it, right? He has to...
Well, the only thing you could do is start kicking these players off the team. That would be your only... At this point, right? At this point, the only thing you can do... Huh?
Why not?
Well,
at a certain point, you have to put your foot down.
Yeah, but I think these kids also need to be convicted before they... You know what I'm saying?
True.
You actually need to be convicted of whatever it is the crime is. Because in Ra's case, again, I'm not for or against him or anything, but his previous charges were dropped.
Yes.
So if that happens again with the more recent charges, that's... I'm just, trying to be fair here to both sides.
But
we'll see. But certainly from an outside perspective, and again from national media perspective, it's being said that Kirby does not, have a hold of his team, and that's just not the narrative you want entering a season where there's so much on the line, and there's so many, great athletes on that team, and you just don't want this as a Dogs fan, as I'm sure as anyone on the coaching staff, any of the players. This is not the attention you want. So definitely, I don't know how he's going to handle it. He handles these issues internally. He never makes comments. He deals with it within the program. He doesn't want that to bleed out. But
at a certain point, he doesn't have a choice whether it bleeds out or not.
Once a player's arrested and it's out there, right, it is out there. So we will see what continues to happen, but certainly this is something that I don't know how he cleans it up, but he has to, right? They start officially practicing next week. Fall camp starts next week, and we're officially a month away from the season starting. So, yeah, we shall see. To be continued.
The reason I had that topic second is because I don't want to end the show on a sour note or begin it on a sour note.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're back to your favorite topic.
Yes, the opening ceremony was this afternoon in Paris.
But you didn't watch all of it because you had to be at work, right? Or did you?
I went back and watched it. I went
All
back
of
and
it?
scrubbed through it.
All right. So your thoughts, your feelings? Did you like
As a
it?
piece
Did
of
you not?
TV, it was probably my favorite since Beijing. Favorite opening ceremony since Beijing. I think I would feel rather differently about it in person. If you didn't know about the opening ceremony this year, it wasn't held in one stadium. It was held along the River Seine, so the The parade of athletes was on a bunch of boats, and the creative part of it was in different spots along the Seine. As a piece of TV where you can bounce around and go to the parade of athletes and then go to one thing and go back and forth, that
multiple
worked.
cameras.
It really worked.
Yeah.
In person,
It's just been boats going by.
where it's you're basically in one spot watching it, and you're watching boats go by, or maybe you're lucky enough to see Lady Gaga or the metal band Gojira perform after Headless Marie Antoinette's, which not on my opening ceremony bingo card, but it was awesome.
Okay.
I think I would feel rather differently in person because you're only seeing really one section of it. But as a piece of TV, wonderful.
I did not watch much of it. I know I'm the Debbie Downer of the group here, but my mom and sister were texting about it. Marsha, my mom, watched every second of it last night. She made it known she could not wait.
Yeah.
Kind of like you, couldn't wait to watch it. My sister, I think my mom said her exact words was she had goosebumps. Amy talked about Celine Dion and how she was like holding back tears. Being a Canadian, I would understand that. But both of them seemed pretty emotional, and I guess if both of them said that, and you say that it was just that good, and it brought up that much emotion, then you know what, they did their job today.
It was a pretty fun ceremony to watch.
And how many hours did it last? Like forever?
3 or 4, I believe.
Goodness gracious! And do you feel like it was like fast moving? Like you kept
Oh,
your
yeah.
attention?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think Mike Tirico, Kelly Clarkson, and Peyton Manning was actually a pretty good trio.
Yeah.
For the opening ceremony, as weird as that sounds, because you don't expect that trio to be good as announcers.
Yeah.
But no,
worked.
they were awesome.
I wonder how many walkthroughs they had.
I mean,
like how many
Kelly
rounds?
Clarkson has done this before. Mike Tirico is Mike Tirico.
Correct.
And Peyton Manning, people are always talking about,
He's just fast on his feet.
He's fast on his feet. He had the Manning cast for Monday Night Football. He's been through this before.
Yeah.
He's broadcasted sporting events. Obviously, the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games is a different animal, but they handled themselves well. They, were engaged in the creative moments and the rather different Parade of Nations, because it wasn't just one boat per country. It was 4 or 5 countries to a boat. So they couldn't, the broadcasters couldn't go on and on about this particular country because
They had to keep it
was
moving.
just, they had to keep moving. It was, okay, here's Afghanistan, here's Saudi Arabia, here's Greece, here's,
Yeah.
it was just this constant procession. And obviously, the creative part and the Parade of Nations were going on at the same time because it's going down the River Seine. So they were able to cut back and forth instead of just having creative portion and then having the Parade of Nations, which nobody actually watches.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was rather fun.
Good.
And obviously, we're in Atlanta. It's been 28 years since the 96 games, and both Joshua Skinner and Sawyer Bussey had packages today about different parts of the legacy of the games. Josh Skinner got to talk to one of the women who was part of the torch relay for the 96 games, and Sawyer Bussey went down to the Atlanta History Center, where they currently have an exhibit about the game's legacy.
For Sandy Parker, it started with babies.
I had 10 little infants, ages 0 to 1 year old.
Living in Ogden, Utah, outside Salt Lake City,
These are the Wasatch Mountains.
her decade of working in foster care resulted in her being named Utah's Mother of the Year in the mid-90s.
There was such a need for mothering.
And from that came a different honor.
Stands on my wall, and I see it every morning.
In 1996, at age 53, Sandy was chosen to carry the Olympic flame through 1 mile of Utah on its way to Atlanta.
That was a surprise.
Made of Georgia pecan, the torch is not light.
It's heavy.
And there wasn't a lot of time to prepare,
Dun, 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 dun.
which required a focus on getting stronger.
I got a baseball bat, a good one, a Louisville Slugger.
neighbors began to worry.
And the neighbors were just, what is she doing?
But come running day, tailed by the Georgia State Patrol, Sandy ran her most ballyhooed mile.
I was having the time of my life.
Picture after picture of smiles.
You're so exhilarated. You just fly.
28 years later, now at Brookdale Senior Living in Carrollton, the torch still hangs on her wall.
Do you ever feel like, why me?
Well, sure.
And though her running days are over, she's always willing to let others give it a try.
Getting strong now.
Still in the giving spirit that provides the real flame of what the Olympic Games are all about.
I'm proud just to be an American and can do it for our country.
In Carrollton, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
We might see artifacts. Representatives at the Atlanta History Center see stories. Here, stories are told with 1 million photos, 3,000 3D objects. This is the Atlanta 96, Shaping an Olympic and Paralympic City exhibit.
It tells the story of Atlanta as a city always promoting itself and landing the 1996 Games after a century of doing just that and building itself into a sports town.
The exhibit explains the road to Atlanta becoming an Olympic city, the hardships faced, the people involved, the victories, the lasting legacy in the city.
Of what a monumental task it was and how many people had to come together with competing visions to put on these games.
It is the first day of the Olympics in Paris, and the center is pulling out several never-before-seen participation medals from the 1900 and 1924 Paris Olympics.
You could spend hours in this exhibition and really come away with a great understanding of what it took to put on these games and who was involved and the incredible artifacts that are in this exhibition and the stories that they tell.
In Atlanta, Sawyer Bussey.
Alrighty, so the Olympics, well, I was going to say going strong, but I mean, just starting.
Just starting.
So tomorrow, are you going to be watching?
Yes.
Do you have like something in particular? Because I haven't seen the rundown.
Nope,
Do you like wake up in the morning, turn it on, and like let's ride?
more or less.
Okay.
Even this week with
Soccer?
the earlier events like soccer and rugby, I've been watching them live as they come in.
And do you have any like hot takes? Is there anybody who you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna win gold?
Not at the Olympics.
Okay.
I think there is a Paralympian, Gia Pergolini, who she's an American. She's from Georgia.
She's gonna kill it.
She's gonna kill it in Paris swimming.
Okay.
At least I think so. I hope so. She won gold in Tokyo, and I think she's gonna repeat.
And what exactly does she do?
She
compete in?
She competes in the 100 meters, I believe.
Okay.
Her specific classification is something called S7. It's for swimmers with limited vision.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of different classifications depending on what types of disability you have in the Paralympics.
That's very cool.
So yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I feel like, I mean, obviously, like you might think the women's team, like the U.S. women's team,
They better win gold. They better win gold.
You know, could very well get gold.
Emma Hayes, please.
You look at
please save us.
Well, you look at like the men's basketball team, the U.S. men's basketball team. I don't know if they're going to win it all, but you know,
I think they might.
They certainly have the talent to be able to.
To me, this is the best team since at least London. I might say since '92.
Yeah.
Since the Dream Team.
So I mean,
this U.S. team is insane.
I mean, but you know, sometimes talent doesn't equate wins. So you look at that team and you're like, man, that roster's like stacked, right? You're like, oh my gosh. But then,
True.
You know, I don't know. Yeah. It was interesting from what little I did watch of the ceremonies today. There was a female basketball player who's competing on the team, and I don't remember which one it was for Team USA, but she was saying how it's fun to go from like competing against each other in the WNBA to playing together as teammates. She's like, it's really special and like fighting for the same thing, you know? So that's what she enjoys the most.
That's really what's special about the Olympics.
Yeah.
Is seeing all of these athletes competing on a world stage.
Yeah. I mean, they want it, obviously, like for somebody who's like track and field, right?
Yeah.
You're more than likely running by yourself, but you're competing for your country, so it's so much bigger than you. So yeah, like you say, it's cool for any country, right? And the best stories will be like the small country in the middle of nowhere that we don't even know about or don't even know how to pronounce, and one of their athletes will win something, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited, but it's getting started tomorrow. But yeah, what's not exciting is the Braves.
The Braves, you good? Ramon Laureano,
right?
You good, man? You all right?
5 straight losses for the Bravos.
And last night was rough for the Braves.
10 innings, lost
10
4-2.
innings, lost 3-2.
And why did you say that? So for anybody who didn't watch the game, why are you talking about Laureano?
Because the Braves lost because he overran the ball.
Yeah, he couldn't make the catch, which allowed the Mets to have the go-ahead
You
run.
good? You good, bro?
So it's been a really rough go-around for the Braves since coming back from the All-Star break. They've won 1. And right now, Ellie, I don't know if you've taken a look at the standings or not. I don't know.
Oh, it's been rough. It's been rough.
So obviously, the Phillies are like light years ahead of the Braves right now.
Yes.
And they have been for much.
But you have the Mets creeping up on the Braves.
That's the problem, is the Mets are only half a game back. So the Mets very well could jump the Braves.
Because the Mets have been on fire lately. And I saw a tweet from an old friend of mine that sort of sums up my feelings about both the Mets and the Braves. If you're hot, sometimes things like that go your way. Things like last night, where, the opposing right fielder just overruns the ball and gives you the win. And if things aren't going well, those things happen to you.
But if there weren't injuries in that position, the player, and you shouldn't think this way because it's not reality. We live in reality.
Because realistically,
the player's injured. But
yes,
if Laureano's in for someone, and if that's
but
someone,
typically Laureano is better defensively than overrunning the ball.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
that was his entire thing in Oakland.
We
was
also don't
his speed
know.
And his defense.
Yeah, I mean that stadium might. I don't know. Maybe that ballpark had a light and it blinded him. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But the end result was a 3-2 loss for the Braves in 10 innings, and it led to the Mets being a half a game back from the Braves for second place in the NL East. And there are still 3 games to play. Game 2 starting tonight at 7:10 from Citi Field. And like I said, the Mets could take control of second place. I mean, this is a big series.
Yeah.
If they play their cards right, and the Braves continue to have
Mets
these
are hot
issues.
right now.
Yeah.
And the Braves are having issues.
So 3 games left. So it's a 4-game set. Game 2 tonight, and then you got Saturday, Sunday before the Braves head out to the Brewers. So they go from the Mets to the Brewers, and then they come back home. But that's going to be a very rough trip back home if they can't get it together.
All right, what's on your mind?
Oh, I've really got nothing, Ellie. I will say, like, Georgia Tech is practicing right now. They're the only ones, I believe, in our vicinity that are already practicing. That's because they're getting started a week early. Like, they play in Ireland August 24th against FSU.
FSU, yeah.
When everybody else, plays on the 31st. So they started practice Wednesday, and I believe their head coach, he said that Haynes King is the best quarterback in the ACC this year. And you know what? I don't even want to say he's wrong, but what I do want to say is those 16 turnovers from last year, those 16 interceptions, I should say, they can't happen again this year if you want to be the best quarterback in the ACC. No. You?
Dylan Cease threw a no-hitter yesterday. Apparently, Padres manager Mike Schilt was going to take him out until Joe Musgrove said, no, please don't. And that led to a no-hitter. Sometimes you need to let guys ride.
And I saw that on ESPN, and the reaction from his guys and like the jumping on the field and the hugging and all that. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I'm glad that he was kept in because of just the reaction from everybody. And it looked like right there, that very last out, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But
it looked
they got
close.
it.
We got to get
it
out of
did.
here.
All right. Good night.